Right guys, how are we all doing? In today's video, we are going to take you through a full day of eating. So today is a training day. I have my nutrition plan split up into not training day and rest day anymore, which is what I used to have. But now it is non-training days and arm day. I am programmed 3,755 calories. And on training days, push to pull and legs, I am on 4,127 calories. So today is leg day. So as you'll be pleased to know, that means we're on the higher amount of calories. So you get to see me stuffing my face with 4,127 calories. As always, we are aiming to keep as much of that nutritional intake from the day from single ingredient whole food sources. Now that we've got above that kind of 4,000 calorie mark, I am including a little bit of like processed food in the form of cereal. We'll get onto that meal a bit later. Meal number one, we have moved away from this. So I used to have 6 eggs and like a massive bowl of porridge with fruit, dark chocolate and stuff like that. We've moved away from that for a couple of reasons. So first of all, I've recently learned that porridge has something called phytic acid in it, which is essentially an anti-nutrient. So it can kind of affect the assimilation and absorption of kind of the nutrients that you'll be consuming in that meal specifically. I don't know whether it's necessarily impacts the rest of the day, but sometimes if you're over consuming phytic acid, obviously me having quite a lot of oats in my meals, I potentially was having quite a lot of phytic acid, so it could have just been having not a huge negative impact, but just it's percentages, right? And we're bodybuilders, we fight for the percentages. Fun fact though, if you want to reduce the amount of phytic acid in your oats, you can actually soak them overnight. That actually causes the phytic acid to be broken down by is it amylase or something? There's some sort of enzyme that gets released by it being soaked, and it breaks down the amount of phytic acid, so there's less of it. It will still be there a little bit, but there's less of it generally. And then the second reason is because oats just take a bloody long time for me to digest, so they will literally sit just like a ball in my stomach. They're so much harder to eat as well. But anyway, without further ado, meal numero uno is 2 rashers of smoked bacon, 4 chicken chipolatas. I mean, technically it's not single ingredient, but all of the ingredients are kind of like what I class as like in the whole foods realm. And then yeah, obviously whole food source, bacon, it's just meat. We have 4 eggs. We're going for the rich yolk bad boys at the moment because richer yolks, darker yolks equals more nutrients, high quality egg. It's an investment into your health, just buying the more expensive eggs. You're going to benefit from it, you're going to get more nutrients, you're going to feel better, you're going to perform better, you're going to be healthier for longer. So I recommend buying yourself as high quality eggs as possible. So these are the mixed weight ones, which normally I'm not a huge fan of because it can be a bit tricky to kind of track mixed weight. And normally we'd get the large ones, which are in like a black and gold box, but they seem to just like sell out 70% of the time. So we go, sometimes they're available and then sometimes they're not. So we just get these instead. Yeah, we're going to have 5 of these. I would normally have 4 of the large ones, but because these are mixed weight and overall on average they weigh less, I'm having 5 of these. And then what I do is I basically fry that all up in a pan, and then get 2 white tortilla wraps, and then literally just split out what I fried up into the 2 tortilla wraps, and then add on a saucy little bit of mature cheddar cheese. 30 grams of this, 15 on each. And then of course, no meal is complete without the ketchup. And that's meal 1, and I normally have like an apple as well. Some of you are going to be like, oh Sam, tortilla wraps aren't single ingredient whole foods. Technically no, you are correct. However, when I say that, take it with a pinch of salt. Most of the stuff I have generally is single ingredient, but we found these, which most of the other options, they've got like rapeseed oil or sunflower oil, which can be inflammatory in the body, so we wanted to stay clear of those. But we found these ones, which are actually the cheapest ones, like who would have guessed, that don't have vegetable oils. They have palm oil in, but that's not as bad as the sunflower or rapeseed oil. And yeah, it's just kind of primarily wheat flour, which is technically a single ingredient food. Like a couple of other things that aren't technically like going to be optimal or whatever, but there's nothing in here that's really concerning me. And considering I have 2 a day, it's barely anything in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, that is meal number 1. We're not going to do the cooking show for today. We're more just going to talk you through the meals, the reasons why I'm choosing certain foods, how many calories each meal is, what the macronutrient breakdown on each meal is. So we're gonna whip this up now, and then we will be back when we've got the final product. Do I look big?
No.
Right. So, meal number 1 is done. We've got the 2 breakfast wraps here, and then we have a organic gala apple. The reason why I go for organic, apples generally tend to be one of the most highly pesticided fruits out there.
Let me get up as well. Fucking hell.
When we're talking about those kind of like 0.1% benefits, or 0.1, whether that's in health, performance, the food you're eating, getting organic apples over regular apples might just be that 0.1%. It's something I'm trying recently. Okay, don't get me wrong, I used to get normal apples for a long time, but a friend of mine, Dan, you'll be watching this, so shout out to Dan, actually informs me that that is the case. So now we are trying the organic apples. So all of this combined is a grand total of 1,253 calories. 91 grams of protein, 90 grams of carbs, 58 grams of fat, and this is pretty easy to get down. You don't have to have like 90 grams of protein in a meal. I wouldn't normally have this much in a meal, but it's generally just because this combination is banging. It gets a good amount of calories in, it's a good amount of protein, definitely covers my base for this meal, and it's pretty healthy food choices as well, so get some good nutrition in me. To start the day, we're going to give you guys first little bite. Let's get a big boy. Can you see it?
Yep.
Banging. 10-10. We'll be back when we are on to meal number 2. Oh, hello. Didn't see that. So, meal 2. We've just been playing some Elden Ring and getting ferociously angry at the computer.
You.
Aaron also.
What?
Oh, it's gone down
What?
now.
I did what? What's that?
He abused me physically. He slapped me on the leg really
I
hard.
actually still have a mark.
So I slapped him on the leg really hard.
Right there.
That's what happens when boys play video games, right? Nothing good ever comes of it.
You're a boy, I'm not. I'm a man.
Right, meal 2. We have 120 grams of basmati rice. So I've done 2 meals worth of rice in here. So we've got 240 grams of raw weight. Basmati rice in here. If you don't have a rice cooker, get to know. Save so much time and energy and effort. We've of course got the big boy bowl. So that's my head, and I've got a big head. Because we've got 2 meals worth, literally, I don't weigh it out from the rice cooker because I know as long as I eat all of this in the day, it covers my calories. So I'll just approximately half it.
With a spatula as well.
With a spatula. Ooh. So this is going to be our pre-workout meal, hence why we've got quite a lot of carbs in this one. To fuel the session. Also just because I need the calories at the moment. Right there. The PTSD of when I do the wooden spoon. Then we have 250 grams of grass-fed beef mince, which I've just made into little meatballs stuck in the air fryer. Said this in the last video already, but yeah, grass-fed because higher quality equals more nutrients equals healthier, better performance, all round. The body is feeling better, looking better. Definitely more expensive, but we are rocking the grass-fed. So 250 grams of grass-fed beef mince, 120 grams of raw weight basmati rice. We don't forget to
Get fat all over the tea
pour
towel.
the fat in as well, and try not to burn your fingers. Don't be scared of fats, especially when you're getting it from good quality meat, because that is where a lot of the nutrients come from. And then
A fuckload of ketchup.
not yet, that's step number 3. All right, step number 2, some low salt for the electrolytes. If you have a better electrolyte balance, you're better hydrated, you're going to get better pumps in the gym and perform better. So this is great for pre-workout in general. Of course, for some flavouring, we're going to add ketchup.
How quickly do we go through a bottle of ketchup? Sorry, not how quickly do you You.
Uh,
That's a fucking old ketchup.
it's a lot of food.
I
Can't
wouldn't
have
know.
baby man's ketchup. What was I saying? Yeah, the reason why I don't like do it super fancy and like make my own sauce and spend like loads of effort on the meals is because for me, food is fuel, and that's what I see it as. And I'm not like I still enjoy eating this meal. Don't get me wrong, like it's okay. It's not like the most delicious thing ever, but with my goals at the moment being obviously within the bodybuilding competitive realm, it's like I'm eating for a specific goal. I'm not just eating for enjoyment. That will definitely change at a later point in life for me, but right now the reason why I'm happy to just have a massive bowl of rice, some high quality mince, and just put some ketchup on to kind of make it bearable is because it doesn't bother me that much, and my goal isn't to eat this food to enjoy the meal. It's to eat to fuel my body as best as possible for the goal that I have. So that's why it might seem like I put quite like not a huge amount of effort into some of the meals, is because that's why. But what I do make sure I still do is I cover what my body needs in terms of nutrients. Okay, and you might notice a lack of veg, and the reason why is because when you have high quality choices of foods like the high quality eggs, the grass-fed beef mince, and other things, and like we've got a couple little supplements as well, you actually get all the micronutrients and just nutrients in general that your body needs. That's why I'm not mashing in a ton of veg, because I just don't need to. And obviously veg is super low calorie, super high volume. When I'm thinking about having a high amount of calories, it's kind of counterproductive unless I need the nutrients from it, in which case obviously I'd want to have them, but because of my food choices I don't. So we don't have it at the moment. This is meal number 2. I will probably have a banana with this as well, or I might just like have this on the way to the gym. So this is going to be a pre-workout meal. I'll eat this. We'll probably, I don't know, in about an hour and a half, head off to the gym. Nice. Smooth. Glad you caught that on camera. And then we will have a nana. So meal number 2 is 1,059 calories. Totals for today so far, after 2 meals, are 151 protein, 218 carb, and 97 fat. Little taste test. Just tastes like mince, doesn't it? Actually, to be fair, the grass-fed mince tastes different to normal mince. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, we're going to get this down, then we're going to hit a leg session, and we'll see you for post-workout meal. Right, we're back. We're now getting our post-workout meal. Showered as well, and I'm like ridiculously warm because I don't even know why. I'm just very, very warm. Hence the toplessness. And we are on to everyone's favourite, cereal. So this is post-workout, just quick, fast digesting carbs, nice and easy. And we have a little bit of a mixture just because I like to keep it spicy, alright? So currently we are having 80 grams of Cocoa Pops, 20 grams of Rice Krispies, mainly because just to bump up the carbs a little bit but not really add to the sugar. And then, just for a bit of added texture and crunch, 45 grams of Honey Nut. So this is probably like the most, I don't know, borderline meal in terms of, like obviously it is processed or a reasonable amount of sugar in, but when we're talking about post-workout, our body is literally ready to just suck up all that glycogen, all the nutrients, and just shuttle it straight to the muscle. So after you've worked out and after you've done resistance training, your body has an upregulation in the glucose transporter module, GLUT4, I believe it's called, which essentially is in charge of shuttling carbohydrates to the muscle. So yeah, just some like fast, quick digesting carbohydrates post-workout, especially now I'm having a lot of calories, is really ideal for me because I need this to digest so then I can have my final meal before it gets too close to bedtime. Okay, so 45 grams of that. Then you get favourite shaker, Jersey's Finest whole milk. We don't mess about with any of that semi-skim rubbish. This has some good nutrients in. It's not as good as raw milk, but since moving here we haven't really had a huge amount of time to kind of shop about for raw milk alternatives. So we might try and find a dairy farm to get some raw milk straight from the tea, the good stuff. But for now, I'm just gonna have some whole milk. So this adds a little bit of fat to the meal, mainly just kind of keep a bit of balance in the meal rather than just being like all carbs, all protein, and just really spiking my blood glucose super high. Instead, I'm just kind of like taking the edge off a little bit, but also just getting some good nutrients in with the whole milk. So I just generally have about 250 ml. At the moment, it's also some easy calories. It makes the cereal taste better rather than having the whey with water. Then we get some filtered water. Top that up a little bit, and then you open the cupboard of gains and find your favourite flavour of protein, which for cereal currently is mint chocky. Also with this, technically it's kind of processed. I only really have whey for kind of like one source of protein generally through the day. Once again, it's just easily digestible, fast acting, gets straight to work and does its thing, and it doesn't kind of bloat me for ages. And as I said a minute ago, I need this meal to kind of digest quickly so I can get some more calories in before I get to bed. So I do 60 grams of the whey. Boom, look at that. Spot on, 60.
It's actually 60.3.
Oh no! It's teased me. Then we get some bovine, the technical name, grass-fed bovine collagen peptides. So you've got like bovine or marine collagen, which are like two types of collagen. There's different, I'm not going to go super into detail, but this is basically good for like your connective tissues, muscles, so on and so forth, and it's just something that is not necessarily included very heavily when you're talking about like whey protein. It's kind of like slightly different, kind of ticks some other boxes aside from the whey protein. So I like to do just 10 grams of this a day, and I normally will have it, if it's a training day, in with my post-workout. If it's a rest day, I'll normally mix it into my whey sludge when I'm having my porridge. Notch that up, give it your best bartender impression. Delightful. I'm sorry, Aaron. I apologise for this. He's hating me right now. It's got some good crunch. Decent. Right, gonna get this down, chill out for a bit, and then we'll be back for the final meal. Right guys, we are here with meal numero unos, dos, tres, cat. Meal number 4. We have the most basic bitch meal you'll ever see in your entire life, but it gets the job done. It's actually very cheap and easy meal. Tuna and rice. So we've got 125 grams of rice, the other half of what we had in the rice cooker earlier, 2 tins of tuna, which is about 50 grams of protein, and then we are having 20 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin you want to get, just better quality, and I like to get mine in a glass bottle because microplastics, when you get stuff stored in plastic containers, is a thing. Once again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's probably only like a 0.1% difference in terms of, I don't know, health or whatever, but as I said earlier, and as I will keep saying, we like to take those 1% or the 0.1%. So yeah, extra virgin olive oil from a glass bottle, 20 grams of that, and then finishing off with some low salt. Okay, and that is the whole day of eating. So the totals for this meal are 825 calories, as you can see. The meal before as well, I forgot to say, was 985 calories. So totals for the day are 4,122 calories. That is 279 grams of protein. Obviously not all of that is complete proteins, so we've got to take that into account when we're thinking about how many grams of protein we're actually having. Obviously things like rice have protein in, but it's in an incomplete source, so it's an incomplete spectrum of amino acids. So that's why we've gone like significantly over the 200 gram mark. 461 grams of carbs and 134 grams of fat. Nice and easy. So that is a full day of eating boxed off on a high day, well, a training day for me. We're currently in the bulking phase. We're coming towards the end of week 2 of our enhanced journey. But yeah, this is what we're eating to gain muscle. And we will probably be on this, I would expect, for at least another week or maybe a couple weeks. It depends, all depends how the scale weight moves. If we continually see weight move up, fine. Strength's moving up, fine. There's no need to change food. But I expect if maybe that starts to stagnate a little bit, you'll start to see some changes made by Gav, my coach. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts, what you enjoyed, what your thoughts are on the foods. Any comments are welcome. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a lovely rest of your day, and we will see you in the next one.